my dudes, how's it hanging? It's your boy ZNF1 here. Today I want to talk to you guys a bit about canning your foods and why exactly it's a good idea here, especially since we're predicted to go into a depression. Never a better time to start learning and practicing. Before we go and get into this though, let's cue intro. Alrighty, so canning's always a great thing to have a practice or skill in, because you never know when shit will hit the fan or SHTF will happen. And when you have these skills honed, it makes your life a lot easier and you don't have to rely on a grocery store in case, I don't know, they happen to run out of supplies or they're just not there anymore. What are you gonna do if you don't know how to fucking sustain yourself in those situations? It's also easier on you financially if you know how to do this stuff, because then you don't need to spend as much money in the long run. Whether it's because of crumbling economics or in stuff like winter storms where you can't go out anywhere to actually get food. Canning your foods can save you a lot of hassle. Alrighty, so in order to get from this to this, what you need to do first is turn your oven to 250 degrees Fahrenheit and let your oven preheat, and grab your lids, take them out of the rings, toss them in the pot, then get them to a nice boil. Now, the reason why we're doing this is to sanitize our mason jars and lids, so that way no bacteria grows, or it's significantly less likely to grow anything that's going to harm you. And that's why, it also gets boiled and pressured. Then you're also going to want to grab a pressure canner or cooker. Sometimes you can mix both, kind of like what I have right here. So I got this from Walmart for $98 roughly. And then I got a 2-year protection plan as well too, because in my mind, better off getting a protection plan in most cases. I mean, if you really take care of yourself, you won't need it, but it's nice to have. Obviously, the third and final thing that you're gonna need is going to be the food that you're wanting to can. Today, I will be using the Greeny Beanies, a personal favorite. But while you're waiting on the lids to be sanitized through boiling, in addition to the stove to preheat and or your mason jars to be sanitized as well too through the heating process, what you can do is work on those foods into slicing them so they fit a lot better and it's more airtight, or you just basically can get it to where you can fill up the most space possible. So once your lids are in boiling water, what you do is, turn off your stovetop and get you a pair of tongs. Grab these little bitches out. Careful, they are very, very hot. I personally kind of like to, let them dry out on a dish rag or a kitchen towel. Alrighty, now that our oven is preheated to 250 degrees Fahrenheit, what we're gonna do is grab our mason jars, then slide them on in. While you wait on that to sanitize in the oven for 10 minutes, what you can do is grab your food that you want to can, and if it's anything like vegetables, fruits, etc., get a bowl, or you can even use your sink if you'd like to, and fill them on up, and fill whatever area or object you decide to use for your canned foods. If it's a vegetable, fruit, etc., something that needs to be washed, and fill her up with water. And if you're like me, and you have green beans, get snapping, or if there are any other fruits or vegetables, prep them accordingly so that way you can get as much as you can inside the container you want to use for jarring / canning. Now, the reason why we are submerging our Greeny Beanies in water is simply to cleanse them, get any chemicals, etc. off of them. You just give them a nice swirl, or you can rinse them off inside your sink if you want with running water, if you want to be extra safe. But The reason why we're doing that is simply to get off anything that doesn't need to be on there that could potentially be harmful to us. Then after about 10 minutes, grab your sanitized jars. Don't forget to use a jar grabber or some mitts because this shit's gonna be hot as fuck. You know, wait like at least 5-10 minutes for them to cool off, especially if you have them in there for longer than 10 minutes because you forgot about them or something. That way, you know, you're not getting burned or anything because it's not going to be fun. Alrighty, so whenever your green beans or whatever you're trying to can/jar is prepped correctly, what you want to do is, you know, get your jars like so and your lids, put everything back in. If you really want to, by the way, you can use paper towel, toilet paper, a rag or something. Coat it in vinegar because whenever you do that and wipe it around the lips and on the insides, you're sanitizing that and making it to where anything that might have built up on it while you were prepping with it or anything like that is killed, and it's not going to be as bad as something like hydrogen peroxide or rubbing alcohol. So then just start packing them in there, you know, get what you can in. Try to make sure you can get it packed as tightly as possible. Again, that is because of airtightness. The more you pack into there, the better preserved it's going to be. So, and occasionally just, you know, shake it every once in a while, or like tap down on the bottom of it. And I'll do this, and then I will see you guys in the next couple of minutes. Then when you are finished canning, make sure there's a inch gap there between the top of the lid and where your canned foods are stopping at. You're going to pour some boiling water over that, and that's part of the canning process. It also helps clean and kill any chemicals that would be in there. Make sure that there is an inch gap between where the water stops and the top or the rim of the container you're using. Go ahead and grab your lid, set her on there, and then secure the ring on. Make sure it's nice and tight. Once all that's done, what you want to do is, you know, get your pressure canner and fill it with water. Then, you know, get your stove and turn it to a little bit just below high. The reason why we're doing that is because whenever you do it, if you have it all the way at high, it's going to pressurize it too much, and that can lead to mishap and accidents, etc., etc. So you definitely don't want to do that. Then grab the jar or jars that you're using, slide them on in. We're just going to do 1 quart jar in here and make sure that's about halfway up the jar. Looks like we're square. Grab your handy dandy lid, set her on. This one you have to make sure you line up the arrows in order for it to work. So there we go. And then what you do next is you seal her all the way and twist her tight. This one we need to have only 10 pounds of pressure. There's 2 rings on this one, so together that'd be 15 pounds. Just the one, it's 10. The reason why you use 15 pounds for the little top or for the pressurizing of a canner is simply when you're at 1,000 feet or above elevation wise, it's a lot more thinner, you know, so you need a little bit more pressure. And for this stuff, we're going to cook it for roughly 25 minutes or get it to a boil, and then let it sit for 25 minutes in the boiling water and cook. And then when it's done, we let it cool for 25 minutes. I'm going to go longboarding with my dog here for stream and stuff, but I will have people to look out for this for me. Never leave this stuff unattended, or, you know, at least be close by it so you can monitor it, because you'll definitely be able to tell when it's done, because the little pressurizer at the top, the weight will just be wobbling back and forth and making a bunch of whining or like steaming noises, you know, and that's a good indicator that it is done, especially if it's like really, really apparent. But put a timer on your phone, whatever you got to do, and just do something else in the meantime. Just FYI, make sure to never use it on a like outdoor gas propane hot plate, you know, where it's got flame or like direct flame on it. It's not going to work very well, and generally it's not recommended and can even be dangerous. Once you get all that done, You want to cool off the pot for about how long you cooked it for, or rather just until the pin is all the way down and there's no steam coming when you move the little top here from side to side, or the pin, because if there's any steam left in it, you just need to let it ride it all out. You know, take your lid off and your jars will be in there. I had to stream here earlier, so I got all my stuff out early and just kind of let it cool. But once that happens, basically, you know, use your oven mitt or your jar puller to get these out, because they're going to be hot, and I know you're going to want to touch them, but make sure that you get the protective gear to get it so that we don't end up injuring yourself. And there you go, you have perfectly canned greeny beanies. And then a couple quick things here real quick before I go. You want to basically wobble the jar whenever you put the water in it, so that way you get all these bubbles to come out and everything, because you got the prime examples of what happens. So this one, I didn't put enough water in. That's what wiggling the jar is for, or the can. This one I did yesterday when I did it for the first time. Way better, because you can see there's a little water at the bottom there, and this one not as much, but this one you got a gap there in the water, whereas this one it's all the way at the brim like it should be. So yeah, make sure you put enough water in. Whenever you wobble it down, just try to fill up to that brim of the jar there, or leave an inch if you're using cans. And also, one final thing, make sure you date your stuff. Green beans, or like canned vegetables, fruits, etc., generally tend to last about a year, or that's the recommended date. They can last ultimately up to 2 years without really compromising too much on taste or anything. If you want to have it decently tasty, you know, I want to be the ultimate like prepared person with your canned foods, put a little bit of pickling salt or canning salt in there to give it a little bit extra flavor, because if you put any other stuff in there too, it's going to make it cloudy. That can be extremely helpful just even on a day-to-day basis. I make it a little bit easier on your pockets. That's gonna be it for us today though, my dudes. If you guys did enjoy, as usual, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me whenever you guys do this, and it also helps to show me what you're enjoying that I'm putting out there for you. In addition to also getting us further up in the YouTube algorithm and helping people to understand that it's possible to live without the systems that we are a part of, without a grocery store, etc., you know, independent of the systems that we live in, because, you know, fuck the system, especially the ones we got now. Corrupt as shit. Now, if you guys did make it to the end of this video, go ahead and leave the word canned in the comment section down below. Let me know you guys made it here and are part of the 100% club. Also, if you guys want a more interactive experience with us here in the Z Tribe or myself, go ahead and join us live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8:30 to 10:30 p.m. Central Times for memes, conspiracy theories, dark humor, talks about stuff like this, bushcrafting, you know, camping, etc. Whatever's clever for that day. I'll leave my links for that in the description below, but we stream on our main YouTube channel and then Twitch as well. So come join us and check us out. And also, if you'd like, join us every other Friday for movie/weeb night, where we watch movies and enjoy cartoons, etc. with each other, and just, you know, have community bonding time. Just got to be able to take a joke and, you know, don't be an asshole. But with that being said though, my dudes, until next time, please don't forget to live long and prosper, take care and peace, and keep it 1,000,000% real. I'll see you guys on the flip side.